And we'll get this party started. Thank you everyone for getting on this call. My name is Brigitte Linford, and yeah, if you want to post the link in here, Ashley. But I'm so excited to kind of host this call for tonight. We have a special speaker on. Ashley Watts is a Star Diamond coach on our team, who's just a phenomenal leader who is very business savvy and is smart about this business. And so I think this is a unique business because we stumble into leadership a lot of times. You know, we just felt good and wanted to share that with other people. And next thing you know, you're a leader. And, you know, it just kind of catches a lot of people off guard. And, you know, you kind of learn over time that there are strategies in this, and there's ways to be just, I don't know, approach it with more than just flying by the seat of your pants. And sometimes I even feel like I'm flying by the seat of my pants and, you know, kind of figuring things out as I go. And then I talked to Ashley and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could just live in her brain, I think that I could do so much better. So I'm really excited personally to even learn from her and to have this opportunity for you guys as well to hear how she approaches this business in a very strategic way. So Ashley, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you. We are so lucky to have her on. She's in the process of buying a new home right now. I mean, she's got a little baby here. Oh, let me unmute you. No, it's not letting me unmute you.
Sorry, it was me. I muted. My Google timer was going off. My kids probably set for me.
You're good. So, Ashley, why don't you go ahead and take it from here and introduce yourself a little bit, and the show is yours.
Yeah. So, I am Ashley, she said, but I have been coaching now for 5 years, which is so crazy to even think about. I was like most of you, had no plans of ever coaching, but here I am 5 years later and loving every minute of it. Like Brigitte said, it took me a long time to like consider myself a leader, and half the time I still like, am I really? Like, it's so scary. And but when I decided to do this business, I had my back against the wall. It was either go big or go home, because we were poor. We were living in my parents' basement at the time, literally, when I brought my challenge pack. And it was either that or I had a degree. My degree is in education, so I did teach first grade for 5 years. But I didn't want to be away from my little kid, and so it was either that or going to like Subway or somewhere where I could have a nighttime job. So I decided to dive right into coaching and have never looked back. I think my biggest accomplishment, I'm a lifetime 2-star, but I have hit Success Club for 63 months straight. And I think that's like my biggest accomplishment that I can honestly say is I started in January and I have never missed Success Club. And so I haven't always had this genius marketing plan. I was in square one with you guys, you know, any brand new coach, where I was just trying to figure it all out myself. I was in complete survival mode with the business, is what I just said. I just did. I just was told I had to hit Success Club, so I did. I was just told I had, you know, to do the vital behavior, so I just did. And I just decided I would run with it. But a lot of like what I learned honestly I went to the New Leader Conference back, I think it was probably 2016, maybe right around there. And Melanie Mitro shared her marketing plan. And so she is someone that I admire because her brain thinks a lot like mine. And I kind of took what she said and kind of tweaked it for me. And so that's kind of what I want to do. You know, some of you guys like don't want to be inside this OCD brain of mine, and I totally get that. But I am going to share my screen, and I shared this link, and I will share my slides from tonight that I made too, so you guys can have them, because I have a little bit more in-depth detail with it. So let me just share my screen real fast. is, sorry, oops. Here we go. So one of the things that Melanie said, and I have taken this quote like to heart, but she says there will be roadblocks, challenges, and obstacles every single month in our businesses. But if we come up with a plan and are proactive, we can still have forward movement in our business, even when we are distracted, on bed rest, having babies, moving, and traveling. And I added this like little part because we've all been distracted with life that happens. I was on bed rest this summer for 15 weeks and still ran my business. My business was very stagnant, but I still hit Success Club. It kept me busy while I was on bed rest and gave me something to do while I was on bed rest. I've had 2 babies since starting Beachbody. I've moved a couple times. We are literally in the process of selling our house, goes on the market this next week, and are moving again. Traveling, I hit Success Club 28 last month, and I was on a paid Beachbody trip last month. So I think that is like literally the key. And I took that so much to heart when I was at NLC, knowing that like, yes, like my business right now, I'm at SC4, I think right now is all I'm at. And my goal's always, 10 by the 15th, but life happened this month. But I've still moved my business forward. I've still helped people. Yes, it's probably not going to be my most high producing month I've ever had, but I've been able to move my business forward simply because I had a business marketing plan and I've moved forward with it. And so I just love that. So tonight I kind of wanted to talk about how I created my marketing plan and how I create it every single month to make sure that I'm on track with where I need to be in my own business. So one of the big things is people ask me all the time, how many hours do you work? I get that all the time. It's one of the first questions I get. And honestly, it depends, but usually it's 2 to 3 hours a day. Sometimes it's 0. Sometimes I have a crazy busy day because I haven't worked in a couple weeks. Oh, not a couple weeks, but I was on vacation. And so coming back into full swing after vacation, obviously I had more messages and everything to check into, but I am running my business in about 2 to 3 hours a day. And for me, that works for me. I have 3 kids. I work in the mom crafts of the day. I know some people are super early morning people. I am not. I can't be the person who gets up at 5 a.m. to do a power hour because I will be an ornery mom to my kids. And so I tried it and I failed. So I had to find time for me that worked in my day. And honestly, judge all you want. Sometimes that is, well, it is. It's an hour during lunchtime when my kids are watching Netflix at the table while eating lunch. And so that works for me. And so that may not work for you. But one of the things I learned in this business is you got to focus on what moves your business forward. And that includes setting boundaries. When I first started coaching 5 years ago, I thought I had to be on social media 24/7. And my phone was with me 24/7. And that was one of the biggest, I think, mistakes looking back that I made as a new coach is I became obsessed. My family was like, what are you doing? You're on your phone 24/7. And now, like my sister's on the call tonight here, she would tell you when we're at family events, my phone is not even out. And so when we're together, it's very rare. At nighttime when the kids are in bed, yeah, I'll get on my phone. But when we're sitting there talking, my phone is upside down or it's in the other room because I need to be present. And that was something like, I honestly, when I went to Mexico, when Brigitte had her leadership thing, I remember like Keisha, who's like this amazing coach, had her phone put away and when she was engaged in a conversation, she didn't care what was going on in that. And I thought, and it took me how many years to realize that, but I thought she is so present in every single moment that she lives in. And here she is, $1 million earner, and she is so present in this whole experience. So, and that's something that I definitely had to learn over time. And then recognize time-wasting behaviors. And I did this so much, and I still am guilty of this every once in a while. But like mindless Facebook scrolling is not working your business. Like scrolling Facebook is what you do for pleasure when you want to do something on your own free time. That does not build your business. Netflix binging, like who hasn't done it? Like been there, done that. But it's always interesting when people say, I can't hit Success Club, but then they're watching, I'm in a Bachelor Beachbody group, and there's a bunch of us in there. And it's funny because they're, so into it. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have our guilty pleasures. And I will tell you, I have many guilty shows I watch. But when we're making the excuse of not to build our business because it's taking priority, that's where, I had to find the balance myself. So, and for me, hitting snooze, this is always a reminder for me, like, because I'm not a morning person, to get up. That snooze button cannot be my enemy. So that's like the things I had to learn. Then when it comes to my time with my business, there's certain things that are on the clock and off the clock. Just like if I had a 9-to-5 job, there's certain activities when I taught that I did on the clock, and sometimes I had to bring stuff home off the clock or whatever. The beauty of this business is I don't have to do that anymore. So off the clock is being proof of the product. To me, that's not my job. That's my life. I get up, I change diapers because it's the life I chose. I get up and work out because it's the life I choose. That is not part of my personal work hour. Same thing with my personal development. My personal development happens when I'm folding laundry, when I'm getting ready for the day, when I'm putting groceries away. That's who I am now. Like, that's not going to change. And so just as much as my kid's not going to stop pooping in her diaper, that's not going to change. But yeah, I'll do it because it's my life, and it's the life I chose for myself. I love, like Melanie Mitchell always says, like, your body's your business. Like, not to say you have to have a size X amount, because like I said, I built this business on bed rest. I built my business, pregnant. I built this business when I was over 200 pounds when I started my health and fitness journey. But people are watching you. They're not watching the celebrity trainers to decide if they want to join. They're watching you, getting your results along the way. And so that's off the clock. So when I say I work 2 to 3 hours a day, what is that time spent on? It's building relationships and inviting. And I always say to my coaches, like, that's the key to my success, is the building relations part. I'm not, if you go to my Instagram stories, I promise you, nothing's been uploaded in the last 2 days probably on Instagram stories. You wouldn't find an Instagram story for me. That is my weakness. I'll be 100% honest with you. That is my biggest weakness. And I know I could do much more if I was better at that. But I'm old school, and most of my people are still coming from Facebook. And so a lot of that is because I've spent 5 years building real relationships with people, literally talking to people for 3 years before they say yes for some of them. Sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's months, but it's spent time building relationships with people. I literally spend, I do 1 power hour a day, and that 1 hour, my phone is upside down so I don't get dings. It's on silent. It's upside down so I don't see the screen pop up. I go to messenger.com. I don't actually go through Facebook, so I don't get the notifications popping up. And that's my work hour. There's no distractions outside that time, and it's spent just in my Facebook Messenger. And so that's when I'm just talking to people. I'm just going through and reconnecting with people and building solid relationships. And so 1 hour of my day, and I do have a tracker attaches, and I'll share this. I have a simple tracker of how I literally go through the process with people, and it's here. I'll kind of just show you. I like and comment, I watch, comment, I start building relationships. So there's a tracker out there with the funnel system. If you guys are familiar with the 7-step funnel system, I took this, and instead of doing all the individual funnel, I literally just changed it to start building relationships, because to me, that's what I was doing. And to sit there and go through the process, that seems so salesy to me, where I can literally talk to them on the human connection that I have formed with them. And so, and then follow up, and then purchase, or they are added to a new month. So I can continue to build a relationship, whether it's Beachbody or non-Beachbody talk. So that's attached here, and I'll share this too. But I always get asked that when I start talking about that. Now I need to find where did I put it? What's on here? This will work. We'll just switch over to this. Okay. So I'm just going to keep moving on here. Sorry. Okay. So then as far as the rest of my day, posting, stories, which I should be better at, and I'm working on it. My blog and recognition. My blog is my guilty time. So I'm not a very savvy person. So I'm not allowed to work on my blog until I've hit Success Club and met my marketing plan goals. Like this month, I'm not there, so I haven't even touched my blog. That's like my guilty pleasure, and it's a way for me to build my business. But I can get very lost inside a blog doing non-business activities on my blog, making things look pretty, making things that don't really matter, aren't going to build my business, to the level I want it to be at. So for me, that's what I do. I like to schedule what I can. So like my challenge group posts are always set for 6 a.m. My clients know at 6 a.m. there's going to be a post that pops up in the challenge group. So those things that I can do ahead of time, I do schedule those posts ahead of time. And I spend about 30 minutes a day doing that. And then I spend about 30 minutes checking in with challengers and messaging clients and working my way through the vital process with my customers, which I'll go into that a little bit more here in just a minute. So, and then my master list and monthly tasks, I tackle 3 items a day. So if I have 20 extra minutes during the day or 10 minutes here, I look at what is 3 activities I can get done today, either through my master list or my monthly tasks, which I'll show you. And it's also in the link I sent you, the monthly tasks that I do every single month. So the first thing I do at the end of the year is I make a year in review, and I put it in pencil because things change. Like life happens, things change. But I start with my yearly plan, and I just kind of have an outline. October obviously is one that, sweets, I can, do a no sweet free group, or I love doing like a December service group, like for free, all that kind of stuff. So I kind of just outline my year so I know kind of what months, what month is Mother's Day, what month is Valentine's Day, what theme can I do for my free group around those months. And so I start with that. And so every month I go, okay, what freemium, you always talk about, Chalene Johnson always talks about what free stuff can you give to people that are following you. And so I've created a free community where I can go in and I can share my home organization stuff that I love. For me, that's something I love and I enjoy and people struggle with. And so when I can share home organization tips or free, recipes or meal planning, I've just created this group where I run free groups inside this community once a month. Most of the time, like this month I haven't gotten there because of life, but I'm pretty consistent with that in my free group. Then what is my monthly paid group going to be? Those people who purchase a challenge pack. Things I started doing this year is what am I offering to stay on Shakeology or the performance line? So everyone can stay, for me personally, everyone can stay in my paid group. Once they bought in a challenge pack, they can stay in that community group. However, there's always a bonus. Like this month, we're sending a weekly meal plan that is A, B, C, and D meal plan that follows the ultimate portion fix. It's called Fix Your Plate. And we got the coaches together. I created an A, B, C, D plan of the same meal. So like our dinner is, let's say we're eating like chicken salad for dinner. That meal is the same for A, B, C, and D. And then if they need an extra vegetable or an extra fruit or whatever it is, then their husband can follow the same meal plan that they're on, and it makes it a family thing. And so we came together as coaches and each week created one. So I only had to create one meal plan, and then all of our other coaches have created meal plans that we're sending them weekly. Like in February, I did a Love Yourself journal that I created for them. So anyone who was on Shakeology or on Performance Line something, or tried something new, they tried Energize or something, that's what I've been doing to help add that incentive for them to see the value in themselves. So that's something extra that I added this year. And then when I'm creating the marketing plan for the year, I'm staying within my brand and I'm picking that 5. So, what defines you? For me, it's a lot. I talk about infertility and miscarriage. I talk about teaching, and I talk about faith. Those are like the things I reach out to. So when I'm creating posts and I'm creating challenge groups, those are the people I want in them. And those are the people I want to help. Those people I want on my team eventually. Those people who have like-minded ideas. So when I'm, making my year review, I make sure I kind of stay in those perimeters with that. So this is the yearly review plan that I have. I just take this in pencil and I write it in. I did add the freemium on here today. So the link I sent today doesn't have the freemium because I was like, I don't know why I didn't put that in there because it's something I can just go through real fast. So what am I going to do each month to make sure that people stay on Shakeology, stay on performance, whatever it is. So like I said, I'll share this, but this is something I do at the end of every year, towards the end of the year when I'm thinking about the upcoming year, so I can kind of get a game plan for the year and know what I'm going to be talking about throughout the month. So it's not just like, oh, what are we going to post about today? Because I've been there and done that, and there's days I still do that. So when I sit down to make my monthly marketing plan, I think the first thing I do is I take the time to plan. And I always do it the last week of the month. So now instead of the yearly, we go into like the monthly. And for me, the last week of the month works because that's when I'm getting the Diamond Insight, which is like the coach monthly newsletter that you guys get. But usually, Brigida always posts what's coming up, or, I'm sure your upline posts what's like coming up as soon as they get that. So I look at the Diamond Insider. I look at what's on sale, like the ultimate or the 3-day refresh is on sale this month. So that's on my marketing plan. I look at, all the important dates. I go through and I put my challenge group start date for that month, the coach open house that's going on, promotion sales, super weekends, free groups, team calls, national wake up calls, all that kind of stuff. And then when I'm doing it, I'm thinking about what weeks am I going to do jab, jab posts, which if you haven't read the Jab, Jab, Right Hook, that's one of the first personal development books I ever read. And so when I come to posting, I've always followed that principle of just giving people little jabs, little punches into what your free group is going to look like, little punches into what your challenge group is going to look like, little punches into what your coach open house or your coach life looks like. And then you can hook them with your call to action posts, if you want to join, comment below, or all that kind of stuff. So when I'm going through, I'm sitting at my calendar. I literally have a desk calendar that I'm looking at, and then I make it all pretty before the end of the month ends. But I'm literally just looking at a desk calendar, writing all my dates in, kind of game planning all in pencil. Does someone have a question? I just heard it. Unmute. Okay. So the other thing is hit Success Club early. So when I'm going through, how can I hit Success Club in the first 15 days of the month? Because that has always been my goal, is Success Club 10 by the 15th. There's months like this month, I am completely behind SC4 today, but I have no doubt that I will finish the month. I worked, I've done the things I need to do. Now it's just sitting and inviting. Because there's nothing worse than having to scramble, beg, and be desperate at the end of the month trying to get those last people, calling a favor from your mom or whatever it is, to try and hit Success Club. The other reason I like to hit Success Club is after I hit Success Club, I can now help build my team. I can now focus on the recruitment. I can now focus on everything else that I need to focus. Because at the end of the day, 80% of my time needs to be spent on building my business, and 20% needs to be built on developing a team and leading a team. And so this is my personal layout every single month. My challenge group starts the first of the month. The first full week of the month is when my challenge group is going to start. So if the first falls on a Wednesday, and then we'll have preseason, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, and then that first Monday, that first full week is always going to be my challenge group. And I'll explain why as I go through the process, because I'm hitting hard at the end of each month to lock in Success Club at the beginning of the month. So I'm talking about my challenge group, like I'll start, talk about my May challenge group now that we're at the end of the month to lock in Success Club that first and second and third, so I get those commitments, people who are ready to join in, so they're ready to go that first little bit of the month. So that's why I personally have chosen to start my challenge groups at the very, very beginning of the month. And it also doesn't allow me to be like, oh, it doesn't start for a couple more weeks, I'll just put it off, because that's what I was doing at the beginning of my business. It was scrambling at the end of the month to try and hit Success Club. And so I had that mind shift change, and I was like, why am I doing it that week when I can do it the first week and then advertise at the end of every single month? So that's what I've done. It's also easier for me to work through the vital process. I can focus on the customers at the beginning of the month. And then by the end, when they've had that 30-day transformation, I can now invite them, because Brigida usually has a coach open house that first or second week of the month. So now they've had a transformation. It might only be a 30-day transformation, but they have a transformation. And now you can say, hey, you're coaching, you're doing these things on the daily challenges. Why not think about coaching? And so it's a great segue for me to be able to invite people into the coach open house group, which leads into the second week of the month. That's usually when the coach open house is scheduled. And so that's going to be my main focus for the week. I also, during the second week of the month, like to put a new coach pod together. So everyone who joins and comes out of new coaches from that coach open house, I can now put in a group chat together. They can work through Coach University together. They're all brand new coaches. So as a coach, as a leader, it's easier for me because they're asking the same questions that were asked by last month's coach. And those, there's always the same questions. So they can get to know one another. They can know they're not alone. They have a support system, and they can get going through Coach University together and answer those questions as they go together. And then the third week of the month is when I, again, start to invite to my paid challenge group the last 2 weeks of the month. And I love, my whole business, and 90% of my business at the beginning was built on free groups. I didn't know anything else. That's all I knew. Is my coach said, Breeze is my coach, and she's like, just do a free group. So I did a free group. And next thing I knew, I had, 50 people in it. And then it grew to 60 people. And now there's 3,000 people in it. And so it has just grown over time. And it's been amazing because I can add Beachbody / health and fitness challenges along with things that I love, like home organization. I taught first grade. So sometimes I'll teach different fun, like reading strategies to teach your kids, CVC words or consonant vowel consonant words, just fun different activities to help you with your kids. And so I'm adding this value, but I'm also adding my life in there. So every once in a while I post my workout for the day, or I'll post a recipe that I had for dinner. And so they're getting glimpses of my health life along with my overall life. And 9 times out of 10, I find that those people come to me first. They'll message me and be like, what are you doing? Like, when I share a little transformation story. And to me, it takes that pressure off being salesy off. It's been my outlet to be able to just build that relationship with people. And then I always give them what's coming up. I have a paid challenge group. If I'm doing, every couple of months, I'll do a free 14-day trial of Beachbody On Demand group in that group. So, I'll invite them to that free group, another free group. And I do run that outside because not everyone wants to see the Beachbody stuff. And I kind of try to respect that privacy, that not privacy, but respect those people who are like, I don't want Beachbody. Everyone else is, that mindset. And so, but that's, to me, there's just so much value in those free groups. I know it's not everyone's specialty, and I'll be honest, sometimes it's really hard. It's like the last thing I want to do on my list, but it's important to me, and it's the way I've been able to build my business. So, and then the last week of the month is set up to invite people to the paid challenge group, develop my team, and help my coaches hit Success Club. So this is kind of what it looks like. Here's my calendar. Like this is posted in my team page of everything that's going on. So not only do I know what's going on, my coaches know what they can be a part of, what they can be inviting to as well. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So this is kind of what it just looks like. So they know that, whatever is going to be happening, they know when the national wake-up calls are. They know when the Forward Fitness team calls are. They know when our weekly team calls are. They know what's on sale. Everything that they need to invite for is going to be right here on this calendar for them. And then this is hanging up above my desk. And this is what I shared. So when I'm going through my marketing plan, I'm a checklist person, and there's so much gratification of being able to check something off when it's done. And so this was literally my March marketing plan. This is exactly what it looked like last month. And I rocked it. Like I knew I wanted everything done before I left on the cruise, the Beachbody cruise. I wanted all my goals hit so my phone could be put away. I got internet so I could keep in contact if something happened at home, but literally my phone was in my cabin most of the trip. And so I didn't want to have to stress about work or feel the pressure of having to work. And so I made sure I was very on top of my marketing plan last month. And this month, as we have so much going on, I slipped, and you can see in my numbers that I slipped. But my business has moved forward because I had a plan. And so I'll be honest, like the Coach Open House, I had 0 people in this month because I lost track of time. I just happened that month. And so, but this is kind of what it looks like. And I don't know why I can't find my save one, but when I'm planning, I always have a focus, an invite, and an advertise. So what am I working on for that week that I need to focus on? So my week 1 is getting challengers started and working on my free group content. So when I have that spare time, I can sit at my computer, work on that free group content. Pinterest is usually where I pull things up. The Beachbody blog has so many different things that I can share, and not just health and fitness related. But my week 1 is getting those challenges in a group pod. So like down here, it says new client pod. So all my new challenges are going to be put into a group pod because I run my challenge groups with other coaches in my downline. So that way they don't get lost in this big community that we have. They also have that connection. I can keep in contact with them, see how they're doing, check in on them, daily, all that kind of stuff. They can ask questions in that group if they're not comfortable posting it to a big community page. So that first week, I'm inviting heavily to Coach Open House. So I'm reaching out to those people who were in last month's challenge group who have these amazing transformations, asking if they want to be in the Coach Open House group. I'm talking about what says advertise. That's like what I'm posting to social media. So that first week, there's going to be a lot of coaching posts and sneak peek life into coaching. On Instagram stories, you're going to see what it looks like as a coach. You're going to see income posts. You're going to see my tribe family that I'm a part of. You're going to see those things and give them little jab posts throughout the week. Then the week 2, my focus is on my new challengers, making sure they're still working out, especially those first 21 days, because we know it takes 21 days to create a habit. So those 21 to 30 days, like they have my undivided attention. That is my time to be able to make sure, because I think, our job doesn't start the day they sign up, before, when they get their challenge pack. Like our work starts the day they start in that challenge group. That's when the real work of what I do, happens every day. And so week 2, I'm focusing on my new challengers. I'm focusing my attention on the open house that's going on that week. So making sure I'm being active in that group. So my people who I invited see me in it, see me as a leader, see what I'm doing. And anyone, like if you are a brand new coach and you have one person in there, it's so important to be able to contribute your story or contribute to other people's comments. So they see you being a leader and they know, when they sign up with you, you're going to lead them. No matter if you have one person or 20 people in that group. So I make sure I spend that week commenting, liking, even if it's not my people, that I still comment on their stuff, answer questions, whatever I see in there. It's also when I send out my leads email that week, and any new leads I got in the last couple of weeks, I will send that an email welcome, find them on Facebook, whatever I do there. And then I'm inviting to the paid challenge group, and then the advertising for a free group in my free community, whatever I'm doing in there. Just a side note too, so many of my new coaches I'm finding think that a call to action post is going to get them into Success Club. And this is where I have an invite and an advertise, because you can't just post call to actions and expect people to come. This is where building relationships has helped me hit Success Club for 63 months. It's because I've built those relationships, and I'm constantly not just inviting them, but talking to people, not just Beachbody. And along that note, the only reason why I'm sitting here on a team call tonight is because Breezy didn't give up on me. I told her no so many times. And when she messaged me again after saying no, it was not about Beachbody. We connect over miscarriages and infertility. That's kind of how we connected and how we got to know who each other was. And so she talked to me about testing that I had done. She talked to me about the emotions that she was going through. She talked to me as a human being. That next conversation after I said no, I was maybe put on her next month's list, but it wasn't to invite to a challenge group. It was to build relationships. And so when I say invite, that also goes back to following up with those people that says no and continuing on a business or a building relationship conversation to get to know them better. And so just realize that's the difference between invite and advertise. The advertise is my jab hooks, or my jab, or maybe my call to action, hook post. But my invites are what I'm doing that hour a day, building relationships, talking to people when I'm on Messenger and not on my Facebook. So that just kind of there, just so you understand what the difference in those two things are. My week 3, I focus on my free community, my new Coach University that I just added from the Coach Open House, and then my Beachbody On Demand renewals. Who has Beachbody On Demand that are going to be renewing this upcoming year, so I can offer them the value of a challenge pack to save them that money, getting them a challenge pack. And I just think it's good customer service anyway, so they don't get that $99 charge if they do want to cancel, and then they're mad at Beachbody and everyone else because they auto charged them. So to me, it's just one of those customer service / helping them see the best value that they can get. My week 4 is spent, my focus is the next month's challenge group, the vital process, making sure I'm working through the vital process and sending out client emails of kind of what's going to be happening the next month. I'm invited to my paid challenge group and my advertising now for my paid challenge group. So this is where I'm saying week 4 and 5, the last 2 weeks of the month, you're going to see more of my challenge group posts than you are the first little bit of the month, because now I'm wanting to make sure that I hit Success Club the beginning of the month. And so that's kind of how I laid out. And then my week 5 is the vital process, the invite challengers to the coach opportunity, and I work on my marketing plan for the upcoming month. So I get invited to my paid group, and I start now advertising for Coach Open House, because the month's ending. They need to have their challenge packs purchased by week 5 because they need to have everything in their hands for the first full week of the month. So now you're going to see it kick over that last week to Coach Open House, Coach Stories, all that fun stuff. So that is the marketing plan. I have it twice here for some reason. So this is, and I'm just going to attach this at the very end so you guys can have this. This is my vital process as I'm checking in with challengers. My job is to get them results, have them submit the results, invite to Coach Open House, and then transition to coach. So I just made it super simple. I can see kind of where they are. Are they getting results right now? Have they submitted their Beachbody results? Are they struggling? This is just kind of a reminder. I literally have my coaching life is literally in this binder. I'm a paper pencil. I'm not a tech person. Everything, my invites are all sitting in here. My contact list is literally in here. It's all right here. So this is just the visual for me to be oh yeah, I need to check on Sarah because she just started this month. Oh, I need to message this person because she started. So it's nothing fancy or complicated. It's just that reminder, oh, when you hit Success Club, whatever, I hit 28, it's easy to lose track of those. And then you compound it after 5 years of Success Club, it's just easy to forget those people. And so I'll include this in there. And then this is my Coach Open House tracker to make sure, again, it's just that visual. I need to make sure, their name's down, why they're interested in coaching, what's their reason, so I can make sure that's addressed somewhere in the Coach Open House when they ask questions or whatever that last day. And then the process, I need to add them to the group. I need to tag them in the welcome post, tag them day 1, 2, 3, tag them in the income, and then I need to follow up with them. So again, it's just that visual for me when I'm focusing on the Coach Open House tracker. This is in front of me at the beginning of my coach binder to make sure that I'm going through and I'm not missing people along the way. So I'll attach this in the slides. I'll share that when I'm done tonight. But yeah, that's kind of all I do. It's nothing spectacular, and I'll be 100% honest. Like I said, this month has been really hard with what's going on in personal life stuff. But my business is still moving forward. I still had a paycheck today. I still have 4 Success Club points. But if I didn't have any plan, I would be scrambling right now. I'd be like, who am I going to talk to? The other thing that Melanie Mitro has said, and I'm just going to unshare this real fast so I can just talk, but is she leaves nothing to the last minute. So she doesn't be like, oh shoot, Coach Open House starts in 2 days. I need to talk about coaching. Her average is 10 to 14 days before the group starts that she starts talking about it on her social media. So if I'm starting a challenge group May 1st, which is a Wednesday, she would be talking about the 15th, 16th about her upcoming challenge group. So I think that's where a lot of coaches kind of miss the mark is they're like, oh shoot, Brigida just posted that the Coach Open House reminder. So now they're trying to hurry up and create this fancy post to do a call to action when if you had the plan, you know what's going to happen from day one, the calendar's been laid out all month long, you know kind of the routine of everything that's happening. And so when I think that's just been my biggest thing is the consistency of knowing what has been around the corner. So I'm never left to be like, oh, what do I post about today? And then intermingled with my obviously like jab hooks are the people that I'm talking to. So every month I have the one focus. This month I've been talking more about choices, and because we have a big family move coming up and it's been hard to decide what we want to do. So I've talked about choices, on my social media page and what we do with our choices that we make every day. So that's kind of been my theme this month. But I kind of have a theme and then I kind of just write with my heart, in between those jab posts, because I just do those once every couple days. So anyways, this was very scary. I've done this 5 years and these are still super scary. So if I didn't make any sense, I can answer any questions.
I think you made perfect sense and it was wonderful. And I'm still like, okay, you just need to shadow me or I need to shadow you for a few days until I get it down. But I know we have a lot of new coaches on this call and I just wanted to kind of remind everybody of something that was said on one of the national wake-up calls, I think last week or the week before, where they pointed out that just pick out one thing. Like, what is your one action step you are going to take from this call? And if you already know, I'd love for you to mention it in the chat bar right here, or you can comment in the team page underneath the image for this call. But pick out one thing, and whether that's like, okay, I'm going to be consistent with taking advantage of the Coach Open House. That is it is going to be that second week of the month. Or I'm going to sit down at the beginning of the month and look at that email that is sent to me from Beachbody. I'm going to make a plan just every month. I'm just going to create that as my one new habit. Or I'm going to do a free group every month. There's several things that Ashley mentioned in this call. But I don't want anyone being like, oh my gosh, I need to create a form and I need to do all these things like that she's doing. This is a product of someone who's been in this for 5 years, and I hope many people caught that. Like, she's like, oh, this is something I just added. And that's like a key point to keep in mind is that she wasn't doing all of these things from day one. And it just kind of was like, okay, here's a new habit I can add to the layer, and then you get that down and you add a new layer of a habit. And so pick one thing from this call that you're like, I think that would really make a difference for me. And I think you will all know what that is. So share it here or in the team page, but so good. Thank you so much, Ashley. I know for me personally, I'm like, I need to keep track of the people in my group, even just writing down their name with that vital tracker. I'm like, and making sure they submit their results and that they are happy with their own progress. That is my thing that really stood out to me. That I'm like, oh gosh, I really should do that. And I think that would be really, really good. But so many wonderful takeaways. Does anyone have any questions? If you have a question, because people are sharing their one thing that they're going to start doing in the chat, but if you want to unmute yourself, you can ask a question here. She did share the document in the thread here, and also in the team page. But Ashley, thank you so much for getting on this call. I know you're busy. I know all of you are busy. So thank you for making it a priority to get on tonight. And I'm sure Ashley can address questions too that may come up in the team page. But I will post the recording in our group. Thank you all for being on tonight. I hope everybody has a fabulous night. And thank you, Ashley, so much. You're amazing.